Hello. I'm super excited because I'm doing some new stuff on here. But welcome to Ladies Night. I'm your host, First Lady Tammy. Thank you for coming back to another wonderful discussion with my ladies. So if you have not hit the like button, hit it now. Hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. But without further ado, I'd like to bring in my ladies.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Doing good. Thank you.
Nice. Oh, I'm so happy to have you guys here. So as you guys can see, I got my crew, some of my crew with me. The rest of the crew will be joining at some point. But for now, we have lovely Mrs. M3. How are you, Mrs. M3?
Everybody. I'm doing all right. Thank you.
And then we have Queen Forever 2K. What's going on, Queen?
Not much. Just trying to relax before the week starts.
Well, I'm so glad that you ladies are here. I'm super glad you guys are here. I'm excited about the topic that we have going on and the questions that we have going on. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into it with our topic. So let me get to our topic so you guys can see what we are doing. So our topic for today is true sisterhood, how to build strong connections. Yes. I'm looking forward to this. As you guys see it going across, it says that you guys can like us, you can love us. You can definitely celebrate with us as we discuss about sisterhood. And we just want to send a shout out to Sir Hale Speaks. Says, looking forward to this conversation, and we are looking forward to it too. And we also want to shout out Princess K. Says, oh yes, it's ladies' night. The feel is right. Oh yes, it's ladies' night. Yes. And one community. Salute M3. Nice. Well, thank you guys. We always love it when we get those comments. All righty. So we're going to get right to our first question. I want to get into this. This is going to be a good one. So question number 1, my ladies, is what would you say sisterhood is and what is it not? As always, I go last. I'm going to get Mrs. M3 and then Queen, and then we'll get my feedback on question number 1. All righty, Queen. I'm sorry, not Queen, Mrs. M3. I'm mixing my own self up here. Mrs. M3, all righty. So what is your response to question number 1?
I believe that sisterhood is a connection where your family, like if you think about your sisters, if you're not friends, then it's a hard family to live in. But if you have friendship, a connection where you're able to trust each other, let down, and be able to vent, share laughs, all that good stuff, that's a sisterhood. There was a movie years ago talked about the sisterhood of the traveling pants, and just like, they grew up kind of young and then as they got older, whatever. But yeah, that's what I think sisterhood is, that connection.
Oh, thank you so much. I forgot I was muted. All righty, Queen, what about you? What's your response to question number 1?
Well, I think of it more than family, but it's almost like you're linked for a common purpose. I think of like the Deltas and the AKAs, and they have a sisterhood, and they're linked where they have a common purpose, and also you look out for each other, you know, and it's a connection and a bond that's not easily broken. So once you have a sisterhood, I think it's really hard to break it when it's true sisterhood.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you for that, Mrs. M3 and Queen. And we had Miss Luann, and all of a sudden we don't have Luann. So I don't know what happened there. So are you there, Luann? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, so she's here somewhere. Hopefully she comes back because we definitely want to hear from her. But while we're waiting, I can give my response to the question. Yeah, sisterhood is a special, special bond. I mean, it's not something you have with everybody. It is a connection that you have. It is people that you can share things with that you can't share with everybody. It's people that have your back. Jessica Hansen says, excited for this one, going to go in and out because date night, but excited for full replay. Y'all, First Lady Tammy, Mrs. M3, and Queen. Nice, nice, nice. Thank you, Jessica. So yes, I definitely think, it's a special bond that you have with some special ladies that you share certain commonalities with, certain values with. And a lot of times it's people that you've gone through a lot of things with. So, and you can't go through everything with everybody. So not everybody is called a sister, and that's for very specific reasons. So, but yeah, so that's my response to that. Thank you, ladies, for your responses. Lou Ann, are you there by chance at all? I don't know if she's there. Okay, so I don't know if she's there. Hopefully she will come back in. I mean, she's here, but we can't hear her, unfortunately. So hopefully that gets taken care of. So so yeah, Luann, as soon as you get in there, just let us know because we want to hear what you got to say. All righty, so we are going to get to the next question. Before we do, we just want to shout out Mr. Best in the World. He's telling you guys to follow and subscribe to One Community on YouTube. So there is a YouTube channel for One Community. So definitely subscribe to them. Also says, shout out to Sir Hale Speaks. Yes, we always want to shout out the people that are supporting us. Absolutely. And also says what the YouTube channel is. So you guys want to definitely follow the people that support us. You want to definitely support them as well. All righty. So let's get to our next question. Question number two. What have been the contributing factors that have led to the current breakdown in true sisterhood? This is going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to hearing everybody's responses to this. So we're going to start with Queen and then go to Mrs. M3. So Queen, what do you think have been the contributing factors that have led to the current breakdown in true sisterhood?
I want to say a lack of selflessness, dishonesty, and jealousy. I think when you're not honest about what you're thinking or what you're feeling, it can lead to a lot of other things. And really, and then because you're not able to celebrate the other person's successes and truly support them in their failures, So
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for that, Queen. All righty, Mrs. M3, what you got? What do you think?
I think sisterhood breaks down when there is pride. I think a lot of the times we just don't want to hear how we hurt one another. And when we don't listen, we continue down the path that's hurtful. Eventually, no one likes to stick around where they're hurt. So it breaks apart.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Good answers. Thank you guys. Real quick before I give my response. Juana Chica says, "Hi ladies, I'm here listening in to this conversation." Well, thank you for listening in. Juana Chica, if you haven't hit the like button, definitely hit the like button. And Knowledge Relationship says, "Good evening, Juana Chica." All righty. Okay, so let's try this again. Miss Luann Love, are you there? Yes, no, maybe.
You're going in and out. I can't really hear you though. Like it's so faint. And I try to do the cam and mic thing, and my mic is off. It says that my mic is off on StreamYard, like I said last week. So my mic is off on StreamYard. It's
So we
off.
can
It just has them off on it.
so we can hear you really well,
I know, but
actually.
I
I don't
can't
know.
hear you. That's the
Okay.
problem.
Oh,
I
got it.
can't hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's dang. Okay, so well, what I'll do is I'll do a thumbs up when I get to you, so you know I'm asking you the question, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I'll type something in there. So I don't know, Mrs. M3, if you could type something in the private chat so she could see what I just said. Awesome, thank you. Okay, so as far as question number 2, I definitely agree with Mrs. M3 as far as pride, but I also agree with Queen as far as jealousy and selfishness. I definitely think those are all things that can contribute to that breakdown. Um, I feel like also communication, or should I say lack thereof, when it comes to communication, is definitely a way that can cause it to break down. I think that sisterhood is not as strong as it used to be, because people thrive on negativity. And because people thrive on negativity, positivity doesn't necessarily get on top. So that's why you have a lot of shows that a lot of people Real Housewives and Love and Hip Hop and all that, which are so popular. But if you notice that there's not a lot of positivity that people like to see, it's a lot more of the drama and the arguing and the fighting and all the backbiting, all that kind of other things that people like to see. That's what keeps people coming back. So, true sisterhood is not about that. It's the complete opposite of that. And I feel like that's definitely what's been contributing to the breakdown. So if we can get past all of those things, that'll be really, really nice. But it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while, and it's going to take a lot of effort, which effort is something not everybody's willing to put in. So we'll just say that. So real quickly, we have some comments that I do want to read. So Sir Hale Speaks says, salute to knowledge and relationships. One Chick says, no problem. I definitely did hit the like button. Thank you for that. Oops. And let's see what else. Sir Hale Speaks says, hello, lovely ladies of the panel. Greetings. Hello, Sir Hale Speaks. Greetings to you as well. All righty, Mr. Bestnowell says, shout out to Juana Chica with 2 exclamation points. So, he's saying that with some force in his voice. Absolutely. And then Knowledge Relationship says, Sir Hale Speaks. Salute, brother. Salute to you. And says, thank you to everyone for tuning in. Yes, we definitely love it when you guys tune in. Love when people are watching. Love it when you guys hit the like button. And Hunter Watt says, this lady's not feeling right. Y'all stay amazing, ladies. Thank you very much. You stay amazing, Hunter Watts. Absolutely. You stay amazing. Thank you for tuning in. Ms. Bessenwell says, follow and subscribe to Juana Chica on YouTube. So there is a YouTube channel. So you guys can subscribe. And then Juana Chica says, sisterhood breaks down when opinions are different and men logic gets in the mix. I definitely agree with that, because a lot of times what happens is, people have different opinions, and not everybody is okay when someone's opinion does not line up with theirs and it disagrees with theirs. So a lot of times when you have that, people don't want to see someone else's perspective, because in their mind, if your opinion is different than mine, then that's not okay. When in reality, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and other people's opinion does not have to align with yours. So thank you for all those comments. Thank you for everybody who is tuning in, and whoever is watching the replay. Thank you for that when the replay is available, of course, because right now we live, so you ain't gonna get the replay right now. So, all righty. But thank you for those comments. We're going to get to our next question. And it says, do you feel that women are open to criticism from others in their sisterhood? What do you feel keeps them from being receptive? So this is good. This is good. Mrs. M3, what are your thoughts?
I think that it depends on the way that it's presented. I think anybody can take constructive criticism. I don't think a lot of people are receptive when it feels like attacking, or when they are maybe made to feel like they're ganged up on. But I think that in general, people are receptive. I mean, even, the robber that sees the cops coming is going to plead for, please stop, please help, please, have mercy kind of thing. But if you're backed in a corner, but I think for a lot of individuals, a soft answer turns away wrath.
Interesting. Okay, thank you, Mrs. M3. Queen, what are your thoughts?
I think sometimes that I kind of think of sororities. When you're on the line, you're the same, you're equal, right? You're supporting each other to get through the line. But sometimes when somebody gets a little more responsibility, it goes through their head and they become arrogant. They think they're above everyone. They think they're better than everyone. And so I think sometimes when you lack humility, and I'm going to go back to honesty. If you're not honest with yourself, your motives, and the reasons why you do what you do, then you will never have a good sisterhood, no matter what anyone does around you. If you're not honest about how you feel, you will never have a good sisterhood because you're not honest. But I think also there's an arrogance when, we all come from the same neighborhood. Then as soon as one of us comes up and we do this, and we driving this, or we bought this, we can look down on those who haven't had those things. And it's not so much as even what's communicated, it's just in your demeanor. That's what I said, when you're not honest and you're not self-checking yourself and you lack humility, that's what breaks sisterhood. And I don't think people are not open to criticism. I think sometimes, it goes two ways. I think some people may say, oh, you can't tell me, you ain't been through that. Or, or you're not out of it, so you can't help me. So, but I do think that sometimes people do need a slap in the face and some hard criticism, like we can't always sugarcoat it. So, but if you trust me, it's like for me, I talk to two people about the same thing. One person, that's their stance, they're soft, they're gentle. The other person is like, you tripping. I still talk to that person because I know that person is going to give it to me blunt in my face. And I always tell them, I don't like hearing that from you. And they said, well, then stop calling me. But I keep calling them.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we need that slap in the face to go, no, you need to wake up. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And I think that is also one of the things about true sisterhood is that you are honest. And it's even if it's something that that person's not going to want to hear, you're going to tell it to them anyway. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. And that's the thing is, you're going to keep calling the person because even though you might not like what they said, what they said was true. They kept it honest. And they said, and it came from a place of love. it may not have sounded like it by the way it was said, but what was said came from a place of love. So, you know, you have to appreciate things like that. And you want to have people like that in your corner. You don't want somebody that's always going to make you think that everything you're doing is right when maybe what you're doing is not right. So yeah, I definitely can agree with that. So before I give my response after what I just said, Luann, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
And you can hear, yes?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Man, if I had my cheering thing, I'd be cheering right now. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
It was like
Well,
I was muted. I don't know what happened.
yeah, I don't know either. It's weird because we can unmute and mute people. And that's, I was trying to unmute you, but it wouldn't even let me unmute you. So I don't know. StreamYard need to get
wow.
their stuff together. Yeah, StreamYard need to get
So
their stuff together. But yeah, so before I give my feedback, I definitely want you to give your response to this question number 3. Yeah, so what do you think as far as do you feel that women are open to criticism from others in their sisterhood, and what do you feel keeps them from being receptive?
I think so if it's stated in a it, if it's stated in yeah, it depends on how it is stated, how the person says it to you, and if you have a connection with that person. um what would keep them from being receptive, again, is the tone, you know. um and then I'm looking at you, are you living up to those standards that you want me to live up to? You know,
Mm-hmm.
are you doing everything that you saying? Are you being that godly woman? Are you keeping your legs closed to married men, etc., that you want me to do? So don't tell me something that you're not going to do, period.
Yep, yep. That hypocritic lifestyle. No, I definitely agree with what you're saying. Thank you for that, Louie. I'm so glad I was able to get your feedback. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. All right, so let me get to these comments real quick. So Juana Chica says, I've found that most women are not open to criticism from other women. It seems they only want to be validated by men. Lots of women only value male opinions. Um, so it's interesting. You know, it's interesting because I do feel that there are some women that they will listen to a man before they listen to a woman, and I think that might be based on their own experiences as far as the women that they've had in their life and what they're used to. And you may feel that men are more honest than women. So I mean, I think it is, you know, a personal. It is a singular. That's where I was. It was a singular thing rather than majority, in my opinion. I would say, in my opinion. So yeah, because for me, I will listen to other women as if I feel like what they're saying is coming from a place of love, not a place of hurt, not a place of jealousy, not a place of envy. If I feel like what you're saying is coming from a place of love, and that is determined by you and who you are, and me feeling like you have my best interests at heart. So yeah. Let's see. Arshawn says, ladies night. Oh, what a night. Yes. Thank you, Arshawn, for tuning in. Thank you very, very much. All righty. And Mrs. She said, good evening, ladies. Good evening to you too. We are going to be putting the link down in a short while. So if you want to get up on the panel and give your feedback to the questions, you will be available to do that in person. Yes, yes, yes. All righty. Mr. Bessenworld says, shout out to Mrs. She Said. And she says 7 times out of 10, no. Interesting, interesting. Arshawn says, salute at Mr. Best and at M3. Christina D, what's an example of that? If you could please elaborate on what your question is. Thank you for tuning in, Christina. Definitely love it when, you know, people tune in. You can elaborate on the question that you're asking, because you said, what's an example of that? And so I like to know what exactly you're asking for an example of. So that would be a little bit more helpful, but thank you for your comment anyway. All righty, Mrs. She says at Mr. Best. Juana Chica says Kevin Samuels' show is an example. Interesting. That is an interesting example. That's interesting. That's interesting because I can see where that's coming from. As far as a lot of women will go to a man for an interesting. Will go to a man for an opinion, but when it comes to the women in their life, they won't go to them. And I think that might partly be because of the fact that they want to talk to a man about men and may feel like women can't necessarily answer that question. What do you guys think about that comment? Kevin Samuels' show is an example. What do you guys think about that?
I think, yeah, women go to him, but I don't think that he's always validating of women. Kind of can be a little bit more on the rating side, wants to get ratings than he does want to really give advice. And he tells them, like, if they want the real advice, that they can pay for his, life coaching classes and all that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's funny. Sorry. I don't mean to laugh.
I missed that. I'm sorry.
I guess Kevin Samuels said that women can pay for his life coaching class or something.
You know what? I don't want to spoil anything. I just really don't want to spoil anything just yet. But some big news is gonna come out about that freak. Kevin Sam. I want guys to continue to listen to Kevin Samuels if you want. Okay? Continue to listen to a booty bumper. Yeah, I said it. Continue to listen to him if you want. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Luann. Oh, I do love.
But y'all so
Wow.
manosphere, right? Keep listening to the manosphere, man.
You said booty bumper?
Booty bumper, yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify. Allegedly,
Oh,
knowledge and relationship.
goodness. There we go. Allegedly. Thank you. Allegedly. Booty bumper. Allegedly.
Oh, it ain't
Yeah.
no allegedly when you got proof. I got proof. Okay, I got receipts.
So we don't still say allegedly. But let me get to these other comments real quick. Okay, so Christina says an older woman tells a younger woman to not do something they did because they don't want the younger woman to follow in their footsteps. That's not hypocrisy. I would agree that's not hypocrisy. What I will say is I think that's more of, I think that we've all been through that where someone who's older tells us the same thing. Like, even your parents might have said, oh, I've been through that. I know what it's like. And so you don't necessarily believe what that person is saying. You don't want to go with what they're saying. So you may decide to experience it for yourself. But the reality is a lot of times you have to experience something for yourself in order for you to truly learn what it is you are trying to learn. So, yeah, I do think it's good to take advice, but also, times are different now than they were back then. But a lot of times, even though you went through something in a different way, you may have gone through the same thing just in a different way because of the different times. So I do agree with that is not hypocrisy. So thank you for that clarification, Christina. That definitely was helpful. All right, Mr. Bestwell says, follow Harris Tribe Media on Instagram. And that is the Instagram link where you can follow Harris Tribe Media. Juana Chica says, women tend to be overly critical of other women, will follow men like Derek Jackson. Ooh, you know what? Oh, goodness. Derek Jackson.
We ain't gonna even talk about Derek Jackson.
So here's what I will say is there are some things he says that I say, okay, that does make sense. But then there's other things. But I do feel that it's great to give advice, but you need to make sure you're following the advice that you're giving out. So it's nice to say, women shouldn't do this or men shouldn't do this. But yet, if you're doing those same things, it's hard for someone to really look at you and believe what you're saying because you're being being a hypocrite. So, let's keep it real. Like there's some pastors that do some things like they say, you shouldn't be doing A, B, C, and D. and they out there, you know, doing A, B, C, and D. You know, you telling the congregation what they shouldn't be doing, but yet you doing exactly what you're telling them not to do. Just saying. And I know this because I've gone to a church where that was going on. I'm not going to say the name of the church, and this ain't allegedly.
It's
This
not
is
allegedly.
so.
Okay.
We are going to, yeah. So I'm, like I said, I'm not going to say the name of the church.
You want
but
me to
just
say
saying,
it?
no, don't say it. Don't say it. All righty. So let's go to Miss Question says, shout out to Arshawn Dave. And then Mrs. She says, never disrespect, however, they just want to vent and don't really want our perspective. Yeah, I think that is sometimes true with just people in general, that sometimes they don't necessarily want your opinion. They're just saying what they say just to get it out. And so I think a lot of times, sometimes we give our opinion and it wasn't asked for. And we need to pay attention to the people that we're talking to. Because sometimes it's not to give an opinion, it's just to hear. So, and I've had a friend who I got to the point with her where she would tell me things about her relationship and I would just listen. I wouldn't even give my feedback on anything. I would just be listening. So, and that was enough because she wasn't necessarily going to listen to anything I said anyway. So it gets to the point where if somebody's not going to listen anyway, then it is just, you're just an ear so they can let it out. And that's all you have to be. So sometimes you have to be okay with just being an ear.
And then you say, therapists get paid $100 an hour. PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. Which one you want to do?
There you go. See, that's what I'm gonna do next time. That's what I'm gonna do next. Thank you for that, Queen. Thank you for that. All righty. So Christina says, example of what the lady on the bottom left said, don't tell me to do something that you won't do. So yeah, I think that was the whole hypocrisy kind of thing. I think that Miss Luann was talking about. Knowledge relationships at Arshawn Dave, at Mrs. She Said, at Christina D. Salute. Uncut with Daryl Long says, Juana is right. Thank you for tuning in. Uncut with Daryl Long. Definitely appreciate you tuning in and commenting. We love, love, love it. Thank you so much. And then Christina D says, hello at Knowledge and Relationships. Juana Chica says she agrees with that. All righty. So we're going to keep going. We're going to get to the rest of these comments. KS has a harsh delivery. Yes, some people can have a harsh delivery. So, but some people need that harsh delivery. Let's be honest. Sometimes you got to give it to people straight. And if they don't want to hear it, then they just not ready to hear it. So, I mean, we'll just say all that. Christina D, I like KS, Kevin Samuels. He says, I think he brought a lot of things to light. Yeah, some things he did. But to be honest, like some of the women that call in, like, what are you calling in for? I mean, you trying to get a perspective, knowing damn well you ain't got your stuff in order. Let's just say it. Like some of the women that call in ain't got, yeah, what you would like, you're not even ready for it. So let's just say it that way. They say call a spade, we call a spade a spade. Mr. Best World says, shout out to Uncut with Daryl Long. He says that's his brother. Nice. All right. So we're going to get to the next question. There's so many comments coming through and I'm trying to get to them all. Because I grew up with four older brothers. This is Mrs. She Said. So I'm not surprised and received that type of honesty from my brothers and all the boys / men I grew up around and with. Ooh, did she say 38 male cousins? Wow. That's a lot. And it's nice to have that many males where you can get that perspective. Not everybody is as blessed. So that is a blessing in itself. Nice. All righty. So let's go ahead and get to the next question. Let's get to the next question. Let's get to the next question real quick. I think I gave my feedback on the question that we had, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. I did not. I feel there are some women that are open to criticism. So I feel like in order for you to be open to criticism, you have to be willing to hear what you don't want to hear. And some people are not willing to hear that. Some people are not ready for that. So I feel like that's what causes them not to be receptive, is where you're not necessarily looking for someone to be honest. You're looking for someone to validate. So if you are looking to get validated, then that's not always going to happen. And if you're not getting validated, then you're not going to be receptive. People that are receptive are people that are truly coming to you, and they want an honest answer, and they're going to be okay with the honest answer that you give, even if it's something they don't want to hear. But once again, it's about understanding that what the person is saying is coming from a place of love. But even with that, even when you know it's coming from a place of love, if you are not ready to hear it, then you're still not going to be receptive to it. So it's about being open to that and wanting to truly hear that and wanting someone to be honest with you, because if you're not, then it's just going to be kind of pointless. So but yeah, okay, let's get to the next question. Nice ladies, nice ladies. Okay, so we are going to put down the link right after I post this question. We get our responses. I'm going to go ahead and post the link. If you would like to get on the panel, you are more than welcome to. Next question, number 4, says, do you adjust yourself in order to relate to different women in your sisterhood? Please explain. So we're going to start with Mrs. M3, go to Luann, and then we're going to go to Queen. All righty, Mrs. M3, what do you have to say?
To answer this question, personally, I feel like we women, men, we all have our true self, our real personality, who we are. And in different circles, we reflect the part of us that we feel that circle needs to see from us. So I think that we respond to the energies that are in our circles. And so I would say yes. For me, I feel like that is part of me. That's how I guess I started with the explanation. I guess, yeah, I adjust myself to different women and, in anybody, individuals, just based on the energy.
All righty, thank you, Mrs. M3. All righty, Luann, what are your thoughts on that question? Do you need me to put the question back up for you?
No, because it's not gonna take me long. My answer is no. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not changing for you. You either like me, you either like being around me. If you don't, then you know where the exit door is. It's the same door you walked in. It's the same door you can walk out.
Nice, I like that. I like that straightforward answer. I like that. I definitely appreciate
Boom,
that.
in your face.
All righty, what do you got, Queen?
Hell no, nonstop.
Thank you, Queen. That's
Yeah,
what she. That's see. I know
I
Queen gonna always come through.
I don't think, I mean, I'm not going to be the same, like loud, whatever, boisterous at work. That's the only real place that I switch up, because I'm at my professional site. But I don't think I necessarily switch up or adjust. I think the sisterhood I want to be around, or I'm around, they're comfortable with me being who I am. And if I'm too loud at one point because somebody's not feeling good, they'll just say, "Hey, Queen, can you bring down a little bit?" That's different than me just, "Oh, no, I'm not, they're not, you don't need to be around me. I'm who I am. This is who I am. Love, hate, relate, whatever, don't take, bake, put it away. I don't care. I'm not switching up for who you are. I tried that. It didn't work. It left me angry and volatile. So in order for me not to be that way, I'm coming in how I come in. You don't like it, hit the door. Don't come back no more, no more, no more, no more."
Nice, nice, nice. Yes, I love that. I love that. I love that. Yes, so I definitely agree that I don't change who I am. I'm me all day, every day. And you find that when you are your true self, there's going to be some people that like you and some people that don't. I think the problem comes is when you want everybody to like you. And so you change so that everybody will like you. But if you feel like you have to change in order for that to happen, then you're not being true to yourself, and you're not being true to that person. So I don't necessarily change who I am, but I'm very observant. And so things will play out. And at some point, either that person is still going to be around or that person is going to slowly remove themselves from me. or I have to be the person that removes myself from them, because sometimes that happens. So, but you should never have to change who you are for anybody. So that includes women or men. Just saying, you shouldn't have to change who you are. You should be who you are, and the people that love you will accept you as you are. So, so yeah, nice, ladies, very, very nice. I do want to shout out Mr. DJ Eddie King. Chip, chip, chip. Want to shout him out. He has been commenting. We want to definitely say what's going on. That is a music coordinator for Knowledge and Relationships. Definitely want to shout him out. And we have some more comments. And we got the comments is just being lit up. There's so many comments coming through right now. I'm trying to get to every single one, and I just don't think I have the time to do all that. But I will do what I can. So
I will say this real quick, First Lady.
Yes.
Is that when you feel like you have to constantly switch up for other people around you and adjust, then that's not a relationship nor a sisterhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you are in a situation, everyone should, be on the same page. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
knows who you are. They know who your character is, or they wouldn't be around you in the first place. But when someone feels like they got to switch up and wear all these different masks, then what happens is that they can end up getting bitter because ain't nobody appreciate the mask you had on yesterday to the mask you had on today. Be you. But I think a lot of people don't know who the hell they are. So of course they're gonna put on all these fake appearances and fake I call it fake self-images to fit in because they don't know who the hell they are. When you're confident for who you are, you know that you are valuable, and whoever's in your life that should be in your life will accept you. Point blank, period.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Queen. Yes, definitely love what you said. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Real quick, Mr. Russian World says, even the teacher needs a teacher, even a therapist needs a therapist. Definitely agree with that. And I feel, and those people that are strong, they need somebody too. So, we did a podcast earlier this week, I think it was, where we talked about mental health. And, everybody needs to talk to somebody, never, just because you're a therapist doesn't mean sometimes you need someone to talk to. And I think that when people are strong, some people assume that person doesn't need anything because they are strong, but sometimes the strongest people need someone the most. So, and it's sad if they don't have that. So, so anyway, let's see.
I want to share just a little bit because I think that people who know themselves are able to meet people where they're at and meet that person's personality, and still, even if they agree to disagree, they go on their way. I think people that know themselves, they're able to adjust to any situation, and that's not necessarily changing yourself up. You know the real you, and you know that every part of you matters. In certain situations, that part of you is not necessary. In other situations, it is. And so that's why I said reflections of your real self. When I'm not talking about switching up or being a different person. I'm talking about being yourself in any situation. So
Thank you.
when you know all of you, you know which part of you is needed to be relied on for certain situations.
Thank you, Mrs. M3. Okay, so real quick, I just put this up here and told you guys subscribe and donate. And also the link to the panel is down there below, as you can see. So if you would like to go ahead and get on here and give your opinion so we can see and hear you, definitely go ahead and hit that link so we can get your opinion, not just in the comments, but here live and alive. We always love it when people want to join and say what they got to say along with us, because we got lots to say. But hey, if you want to join in with what you got to say, definitely welcome to. So that is our link. If you want to give some feedback, we are here for it. All righty. So next question is, do you believe you can have true sisterhood with phony people? Why or why not? We're going to come to Queen first, then Mrs. M3, then Luann. All righty, Queen, what are your thoughts on question number 5?
No. Hell no.
I love that.
If you are sisterhood, that means you're honest.
Mhm.
And my definition, the definition of sisterhood is loyalty, honesty, and a bunch of other things. So if you're not honest, how the hell can I know? I don't know who you are. That's what I said about putting on masks. It's a difference between adjusting the volume, but when you are completely different, if you playing music soul child and that's you, then you should always play music soul child. You shouldn't adjust, you will adjust the volume or change the song, but you're not playing Redman or DMX. That's switching up who you are. So
Right.
no, you cannot be in a sisterhood with phony people because it's not a sisterhood because you're not honest, you're not willing to do the work, you're not willing to face whatever confrontation or whatever you need to face. So no, phony people are dead to me. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Queen. So real quick, before we get to you, Mrs. M3, we have a guest that we're going to bring on, and we'd like to welcome Princess K. How are you?
Welcome, Princess K.
Hello, how are you? How are you doing?
We're doing great. So great of you to join us. Can't wait to get your feedback.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to put back up the question. It's question number 4. We're going to go to Mrs. M3, Luann, and then Princess K. We're going to go ahead and come to you. So, Mrs. M3, what are your thoughts on? Oh, I think it's question number 5. There we go. Question number 5. What are your thoughts?
I do not believe that it's easy to have a sisterhood with phony people. I think that it's very difficult when you expect, with your sisters, you can vent and let down, and then be able to resolve, be able to go forward. It's not easy when instead of resolving, your sisterhood goes to a different location and everything about you that you said in confidence is now everybody's business, and they don't own it. That's very difficult. And you are your genuine self around certain people until they show you that you cannot be. That's really hard too. So no, phony people have all kinds of different looks and different ways of doing things. And no, it's not easy to have a sisterhood like that.
Thank you, Mrs. M3. Thank you for that. All righty, Luann, what are your thoughts? Are you there, Luann?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. My phone was on
Okay.
mute. I'm going to say what Miss Queen said. Hell no. Like a phony, a phony person, I don't want to be around you. And no, I can't trust you. You didn't already show me your deck of cards. I can't trust you. Your phony ass. No, get away from me.
I love that. I love that answer. Thank you. Thank you. All righty, Princess K, what are your thoughts about number 5?
I would say I'm with Queen and Luann on this. Absolutely not. Having a phony person, it doesn't even match with what sisterhood truly is. It just doesn't go together. It's like having a poisonous snake in your grasp and trying to hope that it doesn't bite you. Like I would say that I make an effort to surround myself with women that I can learn from because I was raised by my mother and my grandmother and my aunts to always know that iron sharpens iron. So if I'm iron, I don't want someone dull around me. I don't want anything about that on me or around me. So if I catch like the slightest hint that you're phony, you're just fake. Like I would say that I have a strong grasp of discernment, and I also have a strong personal relationship with God as well. So when I start getting feelings about people that aren't in a positive light, I will give them chances. Well, at least I used to. But I had to learn to actually trust that discernment and what is being told to you in your spirit about someone to save myself from hurt. So absolutely not. I can't have phony people in my circle, not even in my outer circle, because I have things to do. I have a purpose. And I refuse to let anybody come into my circle and try to derail me from what I intend to do with my life.
Yes, I love that response. I definitely love that. I love that you talked about discernment, because I feel that a lot of times we don't pay attention to that, and that leads us to people that we don't need to have around. So, I like, for me, for instance, I try to be very positive, and I like to have positive people around me. And I cannot have somebody who is phony around me. So, in answer to the question, my answer is going to be definitely a no. I wouldn't want to have a sisterhood with somebody who is phony, because somebody's phony, that's somebody that you cannot trust. That's somebody who you cannot communicate with. That's somebody who you can't have in your life. And that's somebody who you wouldn't want in your life. So, you have to be very mindful of the people that you have around you, because what they do, it can be projected onto you, and you can project that onto somebody else. So phony people are not people I like to have around me. People do not present their phoniness right away. Some people don't. Sometimes it takes a while, and that's why that discernment is very important. And that's why that discernment, you have to pay attention to it. Because I feel, and I've said this before, is that a lot of times, even when it comes to relationships, we have where somebody will pray when we're talking about, not necessarily about as far as female friends, but for a man, for example, and you say, oh God, I want you to give me signs about this person. And then God gives you those signs. And then even when he does, you still stay, you still, stick around and endure what you're going through, despite the fact that the signs that you asked for, he's giving you those, but yet you pretend as if they're not there, or as if God doesn't know what he's talking about. So, and I feel like God eventually gets to the point where, like, okay, you know what? You wouldn't ask me for some signs. I gave you some signs. You acting like I didn't give you nothing. So go ahead and hand it yourself and let me know how that works out for you. So, yeah, definitely wouldn't want anybody who's phony around me. Wouldn't want a sisterhood. Wouldn't want a motherhood, a friendhood, a co-workerhood, any type of hood. I wouldn't want any type of that with any phony people. So anyway, real quick.
I will add to that is that, in life, we as human, we make mistakes. We hurt each other, right? Nobody's perfect. Can nobody say that they ain't never did something wrong to somebody that they love or called a friend? At the end of the day, that's fucking cap. So, being said that, when you say that you good and that you forgive and you're moving on, motherfucker, move on. Let that shit go and be fucking real. That's the shit I don't like. I fucked up in the past and I will own that shit. But the one thing I'm not going to do is move forward with a phony bitch that smiles in my face and all the while ain't got no trust for me, ain't got no loyalty to me, and ain't got no fucking love for me. I do not do well with that. That's the shit that will send me off a deep end. Because one thing I can do is own my mess ups. I've owned it. We said we moved on. God damn it, move on. Or walk the fuck away from me.
Right.
And that's sisterhood.
Right.
I've been through some shit with some of my friends. We've had damn near almost fist fights. But guess what? They still in my life. They still love me. Because you know what? When we faced it, we dealt with it, we moved on from it. And to this day, if that person needs anything from me, I know I can call them at the drop of a dime and vice versa. That's the phony shit I'm talking about.
Right.
Those are the lies I'm talking about. Don't sit and act like you ain't never fucked up, because that's a damn lie. We all know that. And on that note, we can move on.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Yes, we definitely needed to hear that. I'm telling you, I need to get that. You know what? Next time we use ladies, now I'm gonna have a bunch of sound effects that I'm gonna play. I'm gonna do a different sound effects. Is that right there? Yeah, that was like a mic drop moment. That was a mic drop moment. I like that. I like that. I like that. So thank you for that, Queen. Thank you. We definitely needed to hear that. So, but without further ado, I would like to welcome our next guest, Juana Chica. How are you?
Hey guys, how are you? This conversation resonates so much with me. So I was like, I gotta log in and talk about things. I just love you ladies. And I didn't see y'all names yet. I was like, who is these ladies? Because I wanted to shout out when I really had connected with something that Luann said, Miss M3, First Lady. Like there was things where I was like, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I ain't know that. So I was trying to, and Queen, she knows I love her. She's been on my show so many times. So I love what you guys are saying. And I really just wanted to come in and just talk about sisterhood. Because it's super important to me, and it's like why I've changed the entire direction of my channel to support mostly Black women, because that's where my heart is to support Black women. And just really, like I've really kind of directed my energy at like making sure that we understand things that I don't know if we do. Because we just have been conditioned just like every other race of individuals. We've been conditioned to think certain ways. And so to me, sisterhood is, and I want to ask Queen, like, what is usually the source of women debates and disputes? Like, I really want to know what you see as the source, or what has been the source in your opinion.
I think
there's a breakdown.
I think it's the source to me, and what I've realized with my many years on this earth and different situations is that there's just a lack of honesty. There's a lack of honesty. And I try to be as transparent as I can. I'm not always perfect, and I will own that. Like I said, I will own my shit. But if I'm asking you, where is this coming from, or what the source of it is, and then you pretend for years that you good, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere you pop up and you not good, that's fucked up to me.
Right.
Because you brought my shit to my face. Okay, let's deal with it. But even when you bring it to my face, you're bringing it from a third party who you don't know what the fuck they said.
Yeah.
So let's confront it. Let's bring us all to the table, so I can confront that other person and say, bitch, that's not what I said. You know what I mean? Like, give me that respect. Give me that respect. And if you don't want to give me that respect, leave me alone. That's what I don't like. If you say we good, you forgive me, you give me hugs, you hanging out, you doing this with me, and then all of a sudden you're not good, and you bringing up shit that happened a year and a half ago, then what the fuck is that?
Right.
That's bullshit. I'm too old for this shit. I'm not in high school no more. It ain't no mean girls. You ain't all that. Get the fuck out of my life. You know what I mean? Life is short. I got friends from junior high, elementary. I don't see these people at all because I'm on a different coast. But guess what? When I see them, even though I ain't speak to them for 2 years, it's like nothing ever stopped. That's the loyalty I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's somebody I just got into a big situation about. It was a misunderstanding. She felt the ways. I told her that's not what I meant by it, but I listened to her. And then afterwards, she was like, I need some space. I was in my feelings. I was like, damn, why you really gonna go at me like that? But then I was like, you know what? Step back, queen. That's her feeling. It ain't about you. It's about her feeling. Okay, you're right. So when we came back, we dealt with it. We were honest. We were brutal. We put it all on the table, and guess what? It burnt. The ashes flew away, and we good. Those are the sisterhoods I want. I'm tired of these fake, phony, and I ain't gonna say what I'm gonna say because I don't want to offend where I live, but I'm tired of these, this area where I live, these phony, passive-aggressive situations that I
Hood rat chicks. I'll say it for you,
Queen. I don't do well with it.
Can I
So,
say
you know,
something?
so that's my thing.
Can I say
I've
something
made a
about?
lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
I've hurt a lot of people. But
Yeah.
the one thing can't nobody say is that I've never tried to own it. I've never owned it.
Yeah.
So if we owning it, let's own it together. Let's move together. But if I think, just like I talked about on the loyalty show, if I'm thinking we on the same page, you sit next to me, I wake up, you're in a different atmosphere. How did that happen? That means you've been lying to me for years. Back the fuck up. Get away from me. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'd rather be by my fucking self. I got my man. We've been 11 years strong. I don't need no fucking body. Best believe that. I don't do phony.
Can I say this about right phony? Right, that's phony. I agree with everybody about the phony. What I will say about sisterhood is that it's not free of conflict, and
That's what I'm saying.
I do think that conflict exists, and we need to learn how to work through conflict.
Exactly.
But what I will say about sisterhood is that to me it is like free of labels and judgment. I think that what we should do is confront issues and talk about issues, and like really sometimes to me in a sisterhood, like when you confront somebody that's been like a phony or doing something disrespectful, like they eliminate themselves from the circle most of the time if you do it appropriately. Right, that's the purpose of a sisterhood, because we're gonna address it and like as a unit, and we're gonna be like, wait, no, because you did this and this is what it is, right? And we're not accusing you. We have the real proof, but it really does have to be free of any male influence, because we all know that men can really cause that competitive nature in us, make us do things. I think we have to really embrace each other and our femininity and our male and our female psychology. And I think a lot of times we forget that we're females, we have emotions, we think differently, we want to have a softer blow from women, we want to be nurtured. You know, we expect these things from women. I think for men, we know that they're abrasive and we know that they can say things a different way, and so we almost brace for it. But with women, we want to receive it differently. And so a true sisterhood can look different from how men relate to other men or how other people, so I think sometimes just understanding the nature of women is hard. It's part of the problem within sisterhoods, because they like, well, why was she doing this? Why was she doing that? Because she's a woman, right? That's like women do things. It's like some things are innate to us, and that's what we do. And so I do think like resolving conflict is a major thing in sisterhood, because
for example, I had two friends. I knew them at different times. I introduced them. We became real cool. Me and one of the friends, we didn't really have fallout. She had some situations go on, and so she kind of disconnected. Right? So when she came back, I guess she was feeling things that she never told me. So the other friend knew about it. And so the other friend was like, I'm not getting involved. And I said, but that's not a friendship to me. That's not a bond. I said, because when she had issues with you, I didn't necessarily listen to it. I said, I told her, you need to go talk to her. You need to address her with that. And I said, so when it came on me and you standing up for me, you dropped me by the wayside. So at the end of the day, do you really have my back, or you just here for the ride? I'm not a bus. There's no token. There's no fear. You will not ride on my back. Either you're going to walk with me or you're going to walk away from me. And that's exactly what happened.
Because, with me, Queen, if someone comes to me and they have a conversation like, hey, look, Queen did this to me and that offended me. Either I don't say anything to you at all and I just really relate to that person and try to be there for them. Or if I tell you, I'm open to, like you said, having the open conversation with all of us. I think a lot of times what we do is we'll talk to the other person about somebody, and then we'll go to the other person and talk to them as well. And then we're like confused as to why it's tension. But really, you have to do one thing. You have to either be neutral completely and say, okay, I'm a listening ear, but I don't want to intervene. I'll give you my honest advice. Or you have to be like, well, I'm going to talk to her about this, right? Because you now you involved me. This is my friend. And so now I have to bring it to the conversation. So to me, that's true sisterhood, because you at least being honest with whoever reporting the information to you, and you're not going behind each other's back, which happens a lot. And now you feel betrayed, right? Because now you're like, well, they talking about it behind my back, and I didn't know that this is what was going on. So I think that's a rule that maybe people don't understand what sisterhood is all about. Sometimes I think that's why the rules get broken and why we kind of have failed relationships. Because if you really come into it like, this is my expectation of you as a sister, then maybe it'll be clearer. Because I don't think we do that. I think we just assume that people know the rules. Like, oh, you should do this and you should do that. But people form bonds within the sisterhood, right? Like I may be closer to First Tammy than I am to M3, but we're still all in the sisterhood. So then how do we work that agreement out where you don't feel betrayed if I go to First Tammy and say something about a dispute I had with Queen? You know, it's like we do have to figure those things out. We don't talk about those things though. We just kind of let it happen naturally. And then we get offended when people don't do the right thing, but we never really established what the right thing was. So
I've always said what I expect, because I'm not going to say it. I'm going to show you. And like I said before, I've made mistakes. I've spoken out of frustration or feelings or, anger. I'm not perfect. But one thing I will say is that I will own it when it's brought to me, even if I don't understand it, even if I don't remember it happened. Wow, I don't remember saying that, but if I said it, I'm sorry. But if you bringing it to me 2, 3 years, a year and a half, 2 years later, how the hell am I supposed to remember? How am I supposed to? How am I supposed to say something about it? But the thing is that we have to understand that in any relationship, there's going to be confrontation. No relationship is perfect. You have confrontations with your parents. You have confrontation with your teachers. You got confrontation with your boss. That's life. We're human. Mm-hmm. We're human. But when you don't walk in your truth, that's when the problems come in. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I understand the frustration with sisterhood. It's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
But you know what's funny is that
rewarding too.
I'm still very, very excited and open to other sisters.
Yeah.
Even on these YouTube streams. I wasn't really going to get involved I pop in here, but I enjoy it. I'm open to relationships. I'm not going to let what happened in the past or what happened yesterday with somebody deter me from what's going to happen tomorrow with someone different.
That's right.
That's what I'm not going to do. No one's just going to block my blessing, or block me from shining. Mm-hmm. So like I said, either you're going to be with me and be honest with me. Hey, Queen, you did this. That was foul. Hey, Queen, I don't like it when you say that. Well, what happened? It makes me feel this way. My bad. This is what I meant by it, but I'll be mindful of how I come at you. That's it. Let's just talk. I don't understand. We're too old for this. You got little kids who are more honest than adults. Mm-hmm. Good night.
Yes. I don't think that's ever gonna happen the way you. I mean, just knowing women, mm-hmm. right? Like understanding women. I just know that women don't really like. Most women avoid conflict, and I'm a woman too, so I'm just speaking like from a different perspective, not just from my own personal how I feel and what I do, because people can't really relate to that. But women, we know that sometimes we avoid conflict with other women, and we do it in a way that maybe you may see Queen as passive aggressive, but maybe they just don't want to get into it or talk about it. Sorry, y'all, I'm washing and I ain't closed the door. I hope y'all can. I have wifely duties on top of the sisterhood conversation. Can you close the door, babe? That door? I can hear it. I'm sorry. But I do understand Queen's frustration with you know, just like maybe the communication and not like completely being honest and, you know, not really knowing why, you know, the sisterhood broke down. I'll tell a personal story. I had a friend of over like maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years. And one day she just completely stopped talking to me, like just stopped talking to me out of nowhere. Like, and I had been friends with her for so long. So I've been her wedding and, you know, I had no idea. Like I didn't know exactly what happened. And later I learned that because I was married at the time, that my husband and her husband at the time had a conversation. And I guess he told my husband something that, you know, some things that he was doing in the marriage. And I guess maybe she assumed that I knew as well and didn't tell her. I'm like, girl, first of all, my husband at the time, he wasn't like, men don't gossip the way women gossip. So it's not like he coming to me telling me everything or whatever. But the fact that you were able to just kind of cut the relationship off and not really even tell me what the issues were or whatever the case may be, right? It really was. It was frustrating to me because I felt like sister, like she was like I didn't even feel like best friend. I almost felt like she was part of my family, you know. Mm-hmm. And so one thing, Queen, that I will say is that sisterhoods evolve and they change. You know what I mean? So after that, I met somebody who became more of a friend in my life. You know what I mean? And like I have a relationship with her still to this day, right? And so I think that we kind of get stuck on maybe like when we lose someone, like, oh my God, I lost a friend. But it's like you constantly are forming bonds and relationships with other women. And so it's okay to maybe some relationships you sever ties with. And whatever her reasoning was, right, wherever she felt like it was necessary to sever ties with me in that moment, that was her feeling. And I can't really connect that to me and like me being a good friend, you know, but that's what she did. And it's okay not to lose friends, Queen. It's okay to lose a friendship.
I believe that.
You know,
I believe that they dropping like flies.
You know,
I'm good with it.
You know,
I got my bug zapper out. I'm ready. I'm cool. Let me help you out. I have a bond with one girl. I don't even call her a sister or a friend. She's fam for real. Mm-hmm. And I met her through it wasn't even my boyfriend at the time, which is my husband now. I forgot what happened. I was in the East Coast. I needed a quick place to stay for the night because of a situation that happened where I was staying. And he was like, well, you know, so-and-so said you can stay with her. I didn't even know this woman, right? My husband, which is my friend, he wasn't even my boyfriend. He was like, no, she good. So I went over there, bonded with her. Man, I'm closer to her than he is. She called me more than she called him. You know? And she's like, for real, like, she would do anything for me if she could. Drop it a dime. But that's the bond. And we've had some arguments. We've had some back and forths. We've said some words. It's been ugly. But I tell you one thing, it's solid because we deal with it, we confront it, and when we say we've moved on, we've moved on. That's my issue.
I love it.
It's not the issue about losing friends or whatever else. My issue is that if you say we good, is it 1%? I don't think I should ask you. Right. So I guess now I'm gonna start asking, is it 1%? What percentage is it? Because if we good, that means it's 100% good. You may not have 100% trust in me, depending on what's happened, but that's okay. If you say you're willing to build the trust, then do it. But if you don't want to put in the work, leave me alone. I am very valuable. Flaws and all. Okay? I am ride or die for real.
Real quick, I just want to say shout out to Red Lipstick Vibes. Red Lipstick Vibes is tuning in and commenting. We want to say thank you for tuning in. Great to have you on here. It says, hey, M3 at Knowledge and Relationships. So yeah, we definitely wanted to shout you out because you are tuning in to Ladies Night. So thank you, thank you,
We
thank
love
you.
her accent,
Mhm.
Vienna
Yes.
accent.
Okay, so I'm loving this discussion. And I want to get to our next question. So I really want to get everybody's feedback on our question number 6. And we're going to take it around our lovely, I would say a circle, but this is more like a box. So we're going to take it around the box. All righty. So question number 7 says, how do you rebuild sisterhood once it has been destroyed? And would you want to rebuild it? So we're going to start with Juana Chica, Mrs. M3, Luann, Princess K, and then Queen. All righty, Juana Chica, what is your response to question number 6?
This is so important because I do think that people feel like conflicts don't exist, and like once a conflict happens, they think that it's a point of no return and you can't rebuild, and you really can. And the rebuild starts with being honest with each other. I want to just echo everything that Queen already said as far as just kind of coming back, being honest with each other. I mean, I had a 20-year friendship with someone, and we literally kind of fell out about just really something. But we argued about it, so she knew exactly what we fell out about. Like, I knew exactly what the issues were, but for at that moment there was no resolution because it was really just like, I feel like you betrayed me, you feel like I betrayed you. Okay, cool, we done. Like, we can't talk about it no more because we just going in circles, right? But later we ended up like just reconnecting and being like, man, you're my sister. I missed you. I really did miss you in my life. Okay, so like what happened with us? And we talked about it. And I mean, it took like day-long conversations over and over again. And then we finally got back to a place where we were like, you're my sister, I love you, and we back to normal. So it takes time to rebuild. Time is like, it does. And I know people like, no, I only got one life, I don't got no time. But if a friendship is truly valuable and worth it, and I honestly know what happened with her, it was a life experience. Her mother passed away. And remember, I've been with her for 20 years. And that's like someone that's like my mother. Okay. Like, we love each other. Like, I love her just like she was my own mother because I've been around her that long. So that was like a true moment that made me like realize that I don't really care about that phony beef that we had. I need to be there for my friend because I don't know what it's like to lose my mother in this moment. And so I don't want people to wait until something bad like that happens to reconnect. But I do think reconnecting is important, and you can rebuild. It takes conversations, but you do have to be honest with each other. And you have to tell each other exactly what happened, what the breakdown was, why we're upset with each other. And when I did talk to her about how I was upset, she really didn't even know that I felt that way about certain things that she did. She didn't know why I was reacting the way I reacted. And so don't make assumptions because you've been knowing somebody 10 years or 20 years. They should know me. She know I was mad. No, she may not know you were mad. She may not understand completely the perspective. So I think that's the foundation, is just not making assumptions and having an honest conversation about what really happened. And that taught me a lot. I'm forever learning about this sisterhood, but I know one thing that really did change my perspective and rebuild our relationship.
Thank you. That was a really, really great response. Thank you so much. All right, Mrs. M3, what are your thoughts as far as rebuilding a sisterhood once it's been destroyed? So what are your thoughts? I mean, is that something that you'd want to rebuild?
Yes, I think that rebuilding a sisterhood is really, if you value the friendship, if you value that person, that it is important. And I think what it takes to rebuild is just, first of all, trust. And the second is, as I led before with, you have to be humble because it's pride that breaks it up, and pride can lead to all kinds of assumptions, as Juana was saying, like, don't have the assumptions, assuming that the good intentions. Like the person does have genuine, feelings for you. They want to see you well. They don't want to see you hurt. But at the same time, um, the communication has to be there, because what is it that hurts you? And if it's, that person living their life and you don't understand it, then having a conversation that helps you to understand where they're coming from and who they are, like before you ever met them, especially if you met them in the 30s, because they lived a whole life before you came along, that you don't know, and you have no idea their struggles to get to where they are. So that's what I would say. Assuming best intentions, and um, not assuming other things like they would understand you or anything like that. That's all.
Thank you, Mrs. M3. Luann, what is your response to the question number 6?
Um, yeah, I do sometimes. I think that there are relationships or, friendships that you just don't want to do. And you have every right to say, you know what, I don't want to be around this person. I can't do it. And I feel like that's okay as well. But like Miss MP said, if the relationship is that important, if that friendship is really that important, you would work on that. You would listen to what you've done wrong or what they've done wrong. It would be a communication. And so with sisterhood, you don't want to lose that part. I feel like, you do want to have somebody that you want to talk to, that you can relate to, whether you are married or you have a significant other. It's nothing like your friends. It's nothing like your friends. That's my take on it. Because you guys have said so much of everything, I just can't redo it.
Thank you, Luann. No, definitely appreciate that. Thank you. Before we get to Princess K, I want to shout out Moments with Mickey Red. Thank you for tuning in. It says, good evening, everybody. So we want to shout you out because you are tuning in and you were commenting. So we definitely want to show our appreciation by shouting you out on the stream. So thank you so much.
Wait,
All righty.
wait.
Hello,
Before
I'm sorry.
before you go to her, can I say one more thing?
Oh,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, y'all. I wanted to just let you know that I am gonna keep listening, but I have to log off. I really just wanted to come on and just show you ladies support and let you know that I love this conversation. I'm listening, I'm commenting, and now that I know y'all names, I can attach a name to it. Thank you so much for everything. I wanted to just show you support, and I gotta log off.
Well, before you go, I want you to shout out your YouTube channel. So let me go ahead and highlight you if I can. Let me see. There we go. Go ahead and shout yourself out.
My YouTube channel is Wana Chica. My show is called Gems and Jewels. And I really just come to an agreement and solution with men about things that they think about women and things like that. So really come back because I'm going to have this show this Sunday. It's going to be real controversial. It's called Tawana Hates Men. And I'm going to get into the conversation of, do I really hate men or not? And I want y'all to be the judge. So come to my channel. It's just Wana Space Chica. And we're going to talk about it. So thank you guys.
You took out your braid.
What you say?
You took out your braid.
I did. I took out my braids. Yes, it was convenient when I had my newborn, and now she's
nice.
now she has a little schedule, so I'm like, okay, I can do my hair again. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you, and keep going. I love it. I love this conversation. It's important. So, hey, Mr. Dustin. All right, guys, take care.
Thank you so much. We appreciate having you on here. Oh, that was so nice. Okay, so Luann, were you saying something a minute ago?
I forgot who said it. I'm not sure if it's Queen or M3, but I did. I wanted to say really quickly. I did have someone who answered me back because I had said, is it okay for me not to want to be this person's friend? And I literally, like Juana Chica said, like I actually was that other person. Like I just stopped talking to the person. Yes, I would see them call me and like totally ignore their calls. They didn't have no idea why
Mm,
I did that, but but they didn't even, but that was the whole point because they didn't even care of why they did it. But then once they found out, they were like, oh, wow, I really lost a good friend, huh? I said, I forgive you, but I just don't really think that we should be friends. Like, that is okay as well. So I
mhm.
think I just wanted to share that.
I'm definitely glad you shared that. Thank you, Luann. All righty, Princess K. Princess K, let me pop up the question for you. So this is our question. What is your response to question number 6? How do you rebuild sisterhood once it's been destroyed? And would you want to rebuild it?
Okay, I'll start by answering the second question first. I do believe that you have to take the moment to discern whether or not you actually value that relationship to continue it. Um, I once had a falling out with a friend, and they were basically kind of a textbook narcissist, pretty much. Like, you have your own ego and you go about your way in doing things, and it hurts me. And I'm not the type who's going to stay quiet. I choose to address it directly. So I'll tell you, hey, uh, can you stop doing this because it's bothering me? And if I've said it once and then, I've held on and ignored the signs and I continued to give you another chance, and you still just you keep continuing to do stuff, that's the moment when I take the time to sit with myself. I basically analyze everything that happened and I make my decision on whether to cut you out of my life or not. It's just pruning. I don't have any shame about it. Even if it's a relationship, and that relationship, we'd been friends since we were in middle school, um and very, very close. But even with that, it hurt, but it's just like pruning needs to be done for my own livelihood. It's a time when you have to actually take a step outside of the situation and consider your own mental health. And it may be selfish to other people, but I will never feel ashamed about that. And especially if I've given you chances. So beyond what I said, you have to discern whether you want that relationship to continue or not. Um, on top of that, how do you rebuild sisterhood once it's been destroyed? That is that's a question that can be dealt with a lot of ways, but I think the first portion a lot of the time is to let go of your pride and your ego. With women, a lot of us generally do tend to work in a more emotional way. So if our feelings were hurt, for instance, we can kind of hold on to things. And like Queen said, it's that passive
That's
aggressiveness,
true.
which is so annoying to be dealt with because I cannot stand to have a friend who has an issue with me. And instead of directly telling me about it, I have to hear it from somebody else. When you do that, that makes me feel like we're in high school. And I never even did stuff like that in high school. Um, it's not okay. And that's not sisterhood. Sisterhood is where you accept each other, good and bad, pretty and ugly, and you hash it out. You work it out together. When you have a problem with someone and you don't confront it, then it just causes a lot of misunderstandings. And you get that stuff where when you meet up, you might say some shady shit out of nowhere, or these shady expressions that I might catch out of the side of my eye. And I'm just like, what's wrong with you? And nothing's wrong. Then what's with the looks? What's with your tone? Why are you acting like that? What's the problem? and you have nothing to say when I confront you about the situation. You know, when that happens, it's just a whole big mess. So sometimes, though, there are situations where you have a strong relationship with someone and you don't want to lose them and you want to solve the situation. So, what you do is it does involve a level of maturity to take a step back and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to get out of my feelings and I want to talk this through because I really love you and I really care about you and I value your position in my life, in my circle, and I don't want to lose that. So, one, it does involve dropping the ego, the pride, the feelings, getting out of the feelings, right? Then another, directly confronting the issue, having a conversation where there's nothing held back. I don't care if we have to cuss each other out. I don't care if some things, the truth might be hard to hear, but it's integral to rebuild the sisterhood, to redevelop that trust, you know? So there's a lot of things that can go within that, but that's my opinion. Oh, and also prayer. I would say prayer. I know some people don't believe in it, but I really believe that prayer works. There are situations where some of us may have hardened our heart to other people, or other people have hardened their heart to you. And I'm a strong believer in acknowledging my faults. I do hold grudges sometimes. I'm not at that level of maturity where I can just let things go sometimes. Um, but I do work to forgive. I work. Even if I have to pray every day on that, even if I have to talk to you every day and just get through all of my feelings to get to the root of the situation, prayer does work. And it involves another thing about forgiveness is that just because I forgive you, it does not mean that we have to remain close. I can love you from a distance.
Yep.
So if there's basically about three things, three things that I will definitely cut you off of if you do it in my life. First, God. So you go against my personal relationship with God in some type of way. Now, some of my friends have a different religious background, or they're atheist or whatnot. I don't mind that as long as you stay on your lane, stay in your lane. Like, we're both adults. We can respect each other and our different beliefs. That's fine. But if you're messing or hindering on my personal relationship with God and everything like that, that's one where I will definitely cut you out. Another is if you talk about my mom or disrespect her in some type of way. That is likely to get your ass beat. And my grandma too. So mom, grandma off limits, my fiance off limits. Don't mess with my man. Technically, I don't even let people be around my man anyway. So, but don't mess with my family. Third is my money. Don't mess with my money. Don't mess with my livelihood. I'll add a fourth. Don't add drama in my life too. That's another thing. You know, there are some people who actually thrive off of drama. I've had a past friend like that. That was the most tiring couple of months that I'd ever experienced in my life. And almost got into some situations with the law as a result. I definitely had to cut out that relationship. So there are certain things that once you cross that line, I'm snipping you out of my life. I have no shame. I will not hesitate. I've gotten to the point where I'm good in my peace, in my family, in my career, and in my spirituality. I love myself more than ever. And I don't deserve to have that in my life. No weed should be in my flower garden. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Princess K. Thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and get to Queen and then myself. For the next couple questions, because there's about 2 questions left, we're going to go ahead and use a timer so we have time to get to those questions and get to comments before we end up ending our stream. But really quickly, before we get to Queen, I just want to shout out Quantum Love Metaphysician. Want to shout you out. Thank you for tuning in and commenting. Says that men are doing it more. It is annoying. So thank you so much for commenting and tuning in. Anybody who is tuning in, definitely hit the like button. If you have not hit the subscribe button, hit that too. And go ahead and hit that notification bell. You definitely want to be up on everything that we are doing. So really apologize to people that are in the comments commenting, because the comments are just blowing up. There's so many that I would have to get through. So if I haven't gotten to yours, which I probably have not, I do definitely apologize for that, you guys. It's definitely not the intention. We have a really great discussion going. So if you are commenting, we definitely appreciate your comments. If you want to go ahead and join the panel, the link will be dropping down for you in just a little while once again. So you can definitely come on the panel and give us your feedback, but definitely love, love, love the love. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get to Queen.
Can I just add something to
Yes.
that comment about the men doing it nowadays? I have male friends, and that is so true. I've really had to tell them, like, dude, you're a man and you are acting more womanly than I am at this moment. It's the stuff like you're doing stuff like trying to make me mad that some women do in arguments. You're just picking, poking at every little button like a bitch. Oh, sorry. You're just, I'm just like, and I think those same men who do that, I've had to like tell them, okay, why don't you get in your manliness? Okay, we can do this without the feelings involved. Let's just talk about this logically. And I think a part of that, and this is another conversation probably, but a part of that is because some of them were raised by single mothers and they weren't around fathers to know how a real man acts. So they tend to take on the characteristics that they saw their mothers do, whether it's, purposefully or subconsciously. So that is the truth.
Thank you, Princess K. Alrighty, Queen, what are your thoughts on question number 6? How do you rebuild sisterhood once it's been destroyed, and would you want to rebuild it?
Like I said before in the loyalty show, is that anything can be mended. I think if it's just that both parties got to be willing to put in the work. Both parties got to come to the table, be honest, be transparent, and really express what they truly feel. Not shy away from confrontation, not shy away from being humble, and set their pride aside if they really value the friendship or the relationship. Anything can be mended if you want to rebuild it, but damn it, if you show up to the house to rebuild it, I'm not rebuilding it by myself. I will leave that house, I will leave the tools there, and I will head to another foundation. I'm not rebuilding by myself. And I think that's what sends me over the edge, is that I think we're on the same construction site, building the same wall, and then you're nowhere to be found. Because you've expressed that you want to rebuild, you've expressed you love me, you miss me, and then you don't do the damn work and you're not transparent. So there you go. Yes, it can be rebuilt. I believe in rebuilding it. But when a person shows you that they're not putting in the work you're putting in, damn it, I'm going to leave it by the wayside.
Thank you. Thank you, Queen. All right, so real quick, I'm going to respond to the question. So there's a couple things I was writing down as people were talking. And so one of the things I wrote was honesty, assumptions, pride. I do think that pride does get in the way. This is what I will say in response to this question. I think that it can be rebuilt, but you have to do what is in your best interest when it comes to mental health. And so you have to look at why that sisterhood was destroyed in the first place. I mean, there's a lot of things that can cause a sisterhood to be destroyed. And there's a lot of things that can cause you to want to rebuild that and reconcile that. But you have to do what's in your best interest when it comes to your mental health. And I feel like that is a problem, is that sometimes we do rebuild these sisterhoods, but we don't take the time to think about if that's in our best interest. If it's destroyed because it's something that somebody has someone has continued to do repeatedly, and even when it's been addressed, they are still continuing to do it. I think at that point, it's a matter of that cannot be rebuilt, because even though it has been rebuilt more than once, it has still continued to be destroyed for the same reason. I think part of that could be the fact that maybe the person is not listening because they're not ready to. So I think that does go back to the whole thing where you're trying to tell somebody something, and because they're not receptive, because they're only looking for validation rather than honesty, they're not hearing it. So, and sometimes people don't hear it because they're not ready to. So I think that, you have to be honest about why that was destroyed in the first place, and not making assumptions about anything, and actually being open to hear what the other person has to say. Because a lot of times when somebody is talking, they say something, we want to respond right away without taking the time to actually hear them. So there was an acronym that a friend of mine said, it's LOVE, L-U-V. So it's listen, understand, validate. So it's about taking the time to listen first, then showing that you understand what they're saying, and then validating them so they feel like they've been heard. And I think a lot of times that's part of the problem, is that people don't feel like they've been heard. But yeah, I mean, it just boiled down for me is just, what's in my best interest when it comes to mental health. If we try to rebuild it and it's still getting destroyed, the same things are happening. Sometimes we have to do a little bit of self-evaluation, because sometimes the other person is not the problem. And I think that's part of it. Sometimes we don't want to face that we might be the problem. So you have to be honest with yourself about maybe there's something that you could have done different. Not everybody's ready for that. Not everybody's ready to do that. And it takes time to really get there, because you're not going to get there right away. It takes time to get there. So, and when in doubt, listen to Medea. I'm just saying, Medea be having some stuff that says on the little videos. I'm just saying, there's some nuggets of good information on there. I'm just saying. Did y'all hear about when you said I put everybody in the category of a tree? Just saying, you got to put some people in the category of a tree. So yeah. So just saying, it was good stuff. So, but yeah. So, and another thing is, like, communication is so extremely important. And you have to understand how you communicate and how the other person communicates. Because the thing is that even if we have good communication, if we don't understand how the other person communicates, then there can be a lot of conflict. So those love languages, again, are a good thing. I think I've talked about love language in the past, but I haven't said it now. But love languages are extremely important. And I think that everybody should learn other people's love languages. And that can help you understand them a lot better, and understand yourself as well. So, so as far as the question, you can rebuild it as long as there is honesty, there's communication, there is that understanding, and being honest about the fact, is it in your best interest when it comes to your mental health? Rebuilding that, is that something that is really beneficial for you? So, because I know that when we've been friends with somebody for a really long time, we don't want to lose that. That comes back and it's great, but you have to release, like I said, take the time to think about, why did that get destroyed in the first place? And is that something that's worth rebuilding? Because it's not. Sometimes some people come in your life for a lifetime, and some people come for a season. You got to figure out which one it is. Just saying. Courtesy of Medea.
You better play that Frozen song.
There you go. So anywho, so that's my 5 cents on that. Yes, definitely. So okay, we're gonna get to. I'm really interested in the next question. I think it's gonna be great to get people's responses for this. I am gonna use a timer, you guys. I am gonna use a timer. So yeah. So let me see if I can figure out where there the time is. Okay, so let me get to this. So question number 7 is, who in your life has demonstrated true sisterhood, and explain why you chose that person. So we're going to start with Princess K. We're going to go to Queen, Luann, Mrs. M3, and then I will be last, of course. So let me get the timer. I think we're going to use about a 3-minute timer. We'll do a 3-minute timer for everybody. And let's stay under the timer, you guys. So if you get done, timer is still going, that's great. But we definitely don't want to go over the timer. I'll say that. So I'll give everybody 3 minutes, because it might be one person, it might be 2 people. So so once the time's up, comes up, if the time's run out, then we're gonna go ahead and not purposely cut you off, but we definitely want to get to everybody. So yeah, let's bring, there we go. Mrs. M3 is back. All right, so we're going to start with, like I said, we're going to start with Princess K, Luann. Oh, wait, Princess K, Queen, Luann, and then Mrs. M3. All righty, Princess K, question number 7 is, who in your life has demonstrated true sisterhood, and explain why you chose that person.
I'm gonna go with my mother and my aunt, my dad's sister. My dad passed away when I was 10, and I was very close with him. And I wasn't ever close with my mom until I became an adult, which is not too long. I'm 26. But so I watched her go through a period of time where her best friend, her only best friend, was going through cancer. And I watched my mom break her back every day to drive more than an hour over to her house to make sure that her and her family was fed, to visit her in the hospital when she was placed in there, to take care of everything she might have needed. She did her hair in there, did her nails, her makeup. I watched her go through all of that. As for my aunt, I consider her my spiritual mentor, as well as a grandma aunt sort of figure. I've personally seen her go through some friendships where they had conflict, but they dealt with it as women directly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Princess K.
Mhm.
All righty, nice. I love it. All righty, so Queen, what about you? Who in your life has demonstrated true sisterhood, and explain why you chose that person or those people?
There's several, but I want to piggyback off of Princess K and say my mother. My mother did a lot for people who did her dirty and did her dirty to her face. But when they had a need, my mom didn't care. She just loved people no matter what. I do want to say that even to this day, her friends, even though my mom passed away in 2000, even to this day, her coworkers come to all of our weddings. They come to all of my mom's kids' events, you know, my nieces, my great nieces and nephews. Like, these people still are loyal to my family based on my mother's loyalty to them. I want to say there's a couple in Brooklyn who I consider like my life mentors. And no matter what we've been through, there's always honesty. There's always room for reconciliation and humility, even if they're not wrong. It's never coming at me with pride or arrogance or you did this. Is even if they only did one little thing wrong, they start with, man, I hurt you and I'm sorry. Just a humility despite what's going on. I think of a friend who, she's been to all my family's weddings, and I can call her tomorrow and say, hey, I need a G. She won't question it. She'll say, what's your bank information? And it'll be there, no matter what. And never say, oh, well, you can't keep doing that, whatever. And whenever I need her for anything, she is always there, or she finds a way, or someone else, or a situation where she'll make the resource happen. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. I'm sorry. I like hearing these, like, just saying about those people that are really just special and have demonstrated what true sisterhood really means. So this is awesome. I just have to say that. I'm sorry. I get emotional sometimes. All righty. So, Lou Ann, what about you? What would you say? Who would you say has demonstrated true sisterhood, and why did you choose that person or those people?
I have two. Um, One is my I call her my sister Janice, but we're actually first cousins. But ever since I was little, like 8 years old, she's been taking care of me. And um, even to this day, she thinks I'm still her child. She has to remember that we're only 3 years apart. So to just calm it down. But when I'm feeling bad or feeling my worst, it's like she could telepathically know. And she's like, "Hey, how you doing?" She's always making sure, even though she's busy, to make that time for me. And so I would say that she's one. And then um, I have a 20-year friendship, like 22-year friendship here with Tammy, First Lady. Y'all know her as. And I would say her because no matter what, like even when I was my worst person, she was like, nope, that's still my friend. She's still a good person, because she saw me when I was quiet. She saw we gone through. I can't even imagine. I can't even begin to tell you the things that we've gone through. But just someone to take that journey with you, and you wasn't alone. I appreciate that. That's all.
Oh, I'm so you
I'm over here like getting all emotional. So let me. I almost turn my camera off. That's touching. Yeah, that's touching. That touches my heart. So that touches my heart. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay, Mrs. M3. Um, that Mrs. M3 is your turn. So it's your
True,
turn.
true sisterhood, to me, I have people in my life that they call just to see how I'm doing. They remember like the times of the year where my parents had passed away, and they're like, I know you're missing your mom right now. I know you're missing your dad. How's everything going? Um, True sisterhood. Um, to have people in my life, I can call them up. Um, and when I didn't have a car, they gave me rides without, you know, asking for gas money, whether they knew I had the money or didn't, um, and made sure that I was taken care of. Um, People that I didn't forget about when I got my own car. Didn't leave them in the dust or forget about them for other friends. Um, and people that really genuinely, um, they have your back, whether you're talking to them that week or not. They just, that you trust that relationship with them. I have some older people in my life like that. I have some younger people in my life like that. And sometimes it's not reciprocated. Like they love deep, and sometimes I feel like, man, I'm ghost. I'm like, I'm not around. And they're like, no, I understand. Like your life is what it is. From the time I was in school and didn't have a dime, two nickels to rub together because everything went to bills. Um, Running on fumes and still giving people rides, like that's, there are people in my life that knew that about me, and they still love me. They still took care of, you know, the heart, even when there was no money involved. So I think that that kind of friendship is It is genuine. It's rock solid. And you don't have to question it. I think sometimes we forget the kindness of people, and we only see the good that we've done for others, and we don't remember the good that they've done for you. But I definitely appreciate everyone in my life, how they've rocked with me, whatever it is that they've done, whether it's emotional or physical, financial. My roommates that I've had when I couldn't pay rent for myself, and we just split the bill half and half, through my student teaching and through my subbing and all that kind of stuff, to make it to where I am now, and be able to celebrate with them is good. I appreciate those people. Yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. M3. Thank you very, very much. Real quick, just want to say, Miss Sheffield, she says, I'm sitting with hubby and I'm answering with him. My first answer would be Mom home. Very, very nice. All right. Okay. Let me put myself on a timer. I know I like to talk. Okay. So for me, there's two main people. So one of them is, and I call both of them my sister. Like, I don't use the term best friend, because I feel like that devalues the relationship that you have with that person. So one of them is Luann. Her and I, we've been friends for over 20 years. And, her and I, we've gone through some different things, but we're able to come back together and talk to each other and communicate. And we're very honest with each other. And so she's somebody who I could talk to about anything, and she's not judgmental. And I appreciate that about her, because not everybody's going to be that way. She's a beautiful person inside and out. And she has some things that will have you laughing and falling on the floor. And she has no problem speaking her mind, but she will ride for whoever is riding for her. And I appreciate that, because her and I have been through some stuff. We have been through some stuff that most people wouldn't even care to go through or put their enemy through. And we've gone through so much, and we're still here. We're still great, great friends, great sisters, and I love her to death. So that's keeping it, on the time. So
Oh, ditto. Oh, I swear. Like,
now I do have one other person who I call my sister, and her name is Laura. And so her and I, we've been friends for about 14 years. Her and I are very, very similar in so many ways. And so typically when I'm talking about my sister, this is why I always talk about, and I say that you can't pick your friends, but you can't pick your relatives, but you can pick your family. I say that, and I mean it to the fully extent, because I look at Luann and Laura as family, without no doubt, no question. I see them as no other way. And Laura and I, we've been friends for 14 years. Her and I have never had a disagreement or an argument, which is shocking. But she is very similar to me. And I feel like if myself, Laura, and Luann, if all of us all got together, all of us would just be able to just sit and laugh, because she is very much like Luann. Luann is very much like her. Where Laura, she will ride for whoever is riding for her. She is there for you no matter what. When they say ride or die, she's ride or die. When they say ride or die, Luann is ride or die. So those two people are two people that no matter what, I have their back, and I know they have mine, and I love them to death. Are not even enough words that could say how much I love those.
Oh, we love you too. I'm speaking for Laura. We love you too.
She's gonna snitch on you.
So yeah, let me say, I kept it under the 3 minutes. I had a couple seconds left. So anywho, I really, really loved everybody's responses to that question. I think that was beautiful what everybody had to say. So our last and final question of the stream, and we're going to keep this short and sweet. We're going to keep this, everybody's going to get a minute to give your response to this last question, which is, what do you think needs to be done in order for true sisterhood to be constant and a positive thing? And this is your last minute of feedback before we end our stream for the night. So we're going to start with Luann. We're going to go to Queen, Mrs. M3, and then Princess K. So I'm going to go ahead and put up our minute timer. and give everybody a minute to say what do they think needs to be done. So Luann, it is your turn. Go.
Sisterhood to me is like is like a bond, forever bond. I think someone said that on here earlier. And so with that, you need to be able to know that that person always is there for you. You can always go to that person. You have trust, you have honesty, and you are completely yourself. I think it's easier when you're yourself because then the person knows how to take you. So um what do you think needs to be done for true sisterhood to be consistent and positive thing? So just continuing to be real and consistent with one another is would be something that I would say.
Thank you, Luann. Thank you very much. All righty, Queen. What
I
are
had
your?
a few more minutes, but I just couldn't get the words out.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All righty, Queen. What are your thoughts?
Can you put the question back up? I think it's just honesty and vulnerability. It's very what do you call it? Scary to be vulnerable with someone about how you feel. So I think just be honest and vulnerable. And I think that will help it to be constant and positive. And be what you want. You know, if you want something, be it for someone else.
Mm.
Like don't wait for someone to be it for you. Be it for someone else. And I believe it'll come to you. So yeah, I think that's it. Because I'm about to go on a rant and my time's up. So I'm gonna let it go.
Thank you, Queen. Thank
We
you
should have
very
got
much.
3 minutes.
I almost wanted to give more time. I did. I almost wanted to give more time. I did. I kind of felt like I should have. So, you know what? Tell you what. When it's your time, when we spotlight you, you can get your time to give your last thoughts on the topic just overall. I think that'd be nice. So, all righty, Mrs. M3, what are your thoughts to the last question?
Um, I believe that remembering the positives um, in the sisterhood, what brings you together, what motivates you, what helps you to thrive, because you know the world is full of just go to work, the rat race of back and forth. It's not about competition. It's not about any of that. It's about the connection, being able to let down and spend time encouraging each other as opposed to tearing one another down, breaking each other down. It's easy to remember the hard and terrible things that people do to you and hold on to it. Like, um, I forget, Juana Chica said. But the humility of letting go of pride and being able to sit with, man, remember when this is how our friendship was, and how do we get back to that place? We don't need each other in the same way, but how do we move forward as we I saw my time was up. Just being able to build new and not with pride.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. M3. All right, Princess K.
Okay, so in order to maintain true sisterhood, I think there needs to be love, honesty, loyalty, trust, consistency, and empathy.
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, no, hey, she skipped it in some words. So thank you. Thank you, Princess K. You know what? I'm gonna give myself a minute timer. So I there were some words that I wrote down. So in answer to the question, what do you think needs to be done in order for true sisterhood to be constant and a positive thing? Honesty, vulnerability, communication, love, empathy. I think all those words are what needs to what needs to happen in order for it to be constant. It needs to be positive, and in order for it to be true. So so those are my last things to say to that question. I absolutely loved this discussion. I loved everybody's responses. I thought the topic was awesome, and I think the responses were awesome. So everybody's very true and very honest, and everybody had a lot of really great things to say. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and highlight each person. You can go ahead and shout out your YouTube, your Instagram, any of your social media that you want to, and then even have a couple minutes to give feedback on what you would like to say in regards to the topic. So this is going to be your moment to shine. We're going to go ahead and highlight, not me, but we're going to start with Queen. We're going to start with Queen. All righty, Queen. There you go.
You can follow me on Instagram at QueenFeather2K. You can see me here, and I'm all over the YouTube streets. I like to support. I think the closing statement I would like to say is that, you know, just be real. You know, like I said, my motto this year is, I see you, pass me with the bullshit. And if I ask for A, B, C, D, give me A, B, C, D. Be real, be honest, and keep the rest pushing. If you ain't rocking, then don't come over here on my seesaw acting like you rocking with me. Go take your ass to the other seesaw and leave me the hell alone.
Thank you, Queen. All righty, Miss Luann.
Hi, you can find me on Instagram at Ladybug5150 or Facebook, Luann Love. I dip in and out everywhere, so come and just continue to check us out.
Thank you, Luann.
Mm-hmm.
All righty, Mrs. M3.
Good evening, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for rocking it here with us at Knowledge and Relationships. I am here, Knowledge and Relationships, every time there is a women's stream. I'm not in the YouTube streets. That is not me. I stay my butt at home. But I love you, and I thank you for being here. You see me in the chat as K. Marion. We appreciate you. We love you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mrs. M3. And we have Princess K.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you guys listened, and I hope you learned some stuff from all of the lovely ladies on here. Thank you to the host for allowing me to be on here. And I'll end it with this song. It's been ladies' night, and it felt so right. It's been ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Okay.
Oh, what a night.
Thank you, Princess K. Thank you. All righty, and then we have me. I am your host, First Lady Tammy. Thank you so much for joining us for this amazing topic with these amazing ladies. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in, everybody who commented, anybody who liked, anybody who subscribed, anybody who hit the notification bell. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciated having you here. You can find me on Knowledge and Relationships on Mondays. On Thursdays, you can find me on Saturdays hosting, unless I have a guest host, but I am hosting today. And starting on Tuesday, you can see me doing my book chats. And my first one's going to be this Tuesday on the 8th. And this is going to be the book that I'm going to be going over. This book is amazing. You definitely want to tune into this to hear what we are going to be talking about, because there's a whole lot of good stuff in this book. So if you haven't gotten it, you want to go pick it up and check it out. And that's what we're going to be discussing. But other than that, you can also find me on Instagram at First Lady Tammy 916. So that is all I got to say about that. So other than that, thank you so much for joining us. And you can definitely check us out in 2 weeks when we will be back with another amazing topic. on Ladies Night. But for now, we're going to say goodbye.
DJ,